create something, put something out there, go for it. Just go for it, because the embarrassment and the vulnerability, it can be super uncomfortable in the moment and it can kind of suck for sure. But when you look at your life from like a faraway zoom, I guarantee you that you're going to be really happy that you went for it, and also that you're going to wish you did even more of that. We have a limited time here on this lovely little earth. Whatever's holding you back from like really going for it, fully expressing yourself, and just like creating something that you're excited about, I encourage you to push past it. You want to be in the driver's seat of your own life. You don't want to be just watching other people. Hello. I wanted to talk today about creating instead of consuming. Recently, I've been really trying to cut back on my consumption, mostly in terms of YouTube. YouTube is like I was gonna say drug of choice, but that's a little extreme. YouTube is my preferred way to consume content. I've had other social media apps pretty much deleted for a very long time. I'm pretty much not on Instagram at this point. Never had Twitter, don't have TikTok, but specifically with YouTube, I feel like I've been kind of an overconsumer for years, and maybe have just been a little bit too wrapped up in some of my favorite creators' lives and their content, to the point where I felt like I couldn't really miss a video. I started having a little bit of an existential crisis where I was like, I feel like I'm really not being super present in my own life, because with every little thing I'm doing, I'm putting a YouTube video in the background and I'm constantly listening to other people's thoughts and experiences instead of really being focused on my own. When you're consuming so much content, it's really hard to feel focused on yourself. It's really hard to like fully pour into yourself when you're kind of preoccupied with other people's lives, other people's priorities. And I kind of came to the realization that I really wanted to change my relationship with what I watch and start consuming way more consciously, because at the end of the day, like, I don't want to be wrapped up in the lives of other people. I want to feel like the focus and the like main character of my life. I want to have that energy about me, and I don't want to feel like someone who's just on the sidelines watching other people really go for it and not taking that same action in my own life. And that's not to say that I'm never going to watch a YouTube video again, right? Or I'm never going to watch a movie or something else someone else has created. But I want the majority of my time and energy to be focused on what can I offer? What can I work on? What can I create that wasn't there before? I think social media and YouTube can be really good for like getting inspired, getting motivated, feeling out maybe what type of life or lifestyle really appeals to you. But then I think we stay way too long in that stage of getting inspired and don't move on to the phase of like actually taking action and like making your life look how you want it to look, and refocusing on applying that inspiration. How can I invest in myself today? How can I work on myself today? What can I do to become the best version of me and to show that best version of me to the world? I heard this kind of phrase from, I think it was Maddie Drosbeck, that was basically just create more than you consume. And I've really been trying to live by that idea of, I don't want to just be a consumer, I want to be someone who creates things. I feel like the most satisfying feeling and the thing that makes me feel super fulfilled and just happy with how I'm spending my time is when I'm focused on creating. Like, what can I add to the conversation? What can I contribute? How can I impact other people? How can I create something that I'm proud of? And this doesn't just apply to like social media or content creation. I feel like creating in any form is super freaking fulfilling, whether that's literally writing, doing some project, even just like coming up with an idea that wasn't there before or that you hadn't thought of before. I guess what it really boils down to is recentering your life around yourself. What do you have to say? What do you want to make? How do you want to contribute? Like, how do you want to be spending your time? Because when I like zoom out and I look at my life from more of like an existential lens, bear with me here, I'll try to keep it light. But like when I look at things existentially and I'm like, how do I want my life to be spent? How do I want my time to be spent? It's not watching YouTube videos. It's not observing other people doing what they're doing and looking at other people's lives. It's creating something. It's turning myself into the best version of me and then sharing it. Like, that's how I really want my time to be spent. And I had the realization that the biggest discrepancy between the life I'm living and the life that I would want to be living, besides obviously external things that I can't control, the biggest difference between how I want to spend my time and how I do spend my time is that consumption. And that's not aligned with who I want to be or the life that I want to be living. So it might be easier and instinctual to sit around and watch other people instead of taking action in my own life and really going for it. That might be the easier move, but that doesn't mean that it's the better move or the more fulfilling move. I'm gonna get way more value from taking the harder route and the braver route of actually putting something out there and expressing myself, even if it's scary and weird and uncomfortable sometimes, than I would from just sitting on the sidelines and watching other people truly go for it. It's also a bravery thing. Like, I'm really trying to teach myself to be brave and allow myself to be seen and be comfortable being seen as a more authentic version of me. I've talked on this channel before about how for a long time I was really not sharing YouTube or singing or any of the things that I'm pursuing with like friends and family, and that's something that I've kind of gotten fed up with and have started just like telling people, because I know that like if I do want the grand kind of life that I say I do, if I do want an audience, it's gonna require me to get a little vulnerable and a little brave and really put myself out there and be okay with the fact that like I'm putting myself on the line a little bit. I'm putting stuff out there that can be received positively or negatively, that people can judge, that people can perceive however they want to, but I need to be okay with that because I want to be that type of person who's out there, who's creating things, who's going for it, and not the type of person who's just sitting on the side and watching other people go for it. So that's kind of what it boils down to. And I'm going to encourage you to do the same thing in whatever form you want to, in whatever calls you. Create something, put something out there, go for it. Just go for it, because the embarrassment and the vulnerability, it can be super uncomfortable in the moment and it can kind of suck for sure. Not discounting that, but when you look at your life from like a faraway zoom, I guarantee you that you're going to be really happy that you went for it, and also that you're going to wish you did even more of that, because we have a limited time here on this lovely little earth, so we might as well spend it like being our most authentic selves and going after our dreams and all of that stuff. Whatever's holding you back from like really going for it, fully expressing yourself, and just like creating something that you're excited about, I encourage you to push past it, because you want to be in the driver's seat of your own life. You don't want to be just watching other people drive by. Take this as your sign to maybe consume a little less, maybe cut down your TV time, cut down your social media time. Don't focus so much on what other people are doing and creating and saying, and maybe spend a little bit more time creating yourself and focusing on your own life, your own reality. What can you do to improve yourself? What can you do to share more of you and to be as authentic and vulnerable as possible? And I think it'll really benefit you. But also don't completely stop watching YouTube, because obviously I want you guys here. It's not an all or nothing situation. You know what I mean? But I do think it's a relationship that we should always be keeping tabs on. Like, am I feeling overwhelmed with how much content I'm consuming? Am I spending too much time on this thing? Do I need to pull back a little bit? It doesn't have to be as crazy as like, okay, I'm deleting all my social media, like I'm never watching another person's video again, because sometimes a little bit of inspiration, a little bit of mindless fun can be super healthy. It's just about like keeping tabs on that and not letting it overtake your time and your life. I hope this was a nice little reminder for you guys. Hope it resonated. If it did, let me know. Let me know how you feel about how much content you consume. Do you feel like you have a good relationship with it? This video is fully inspired by my friend Amina's video, where she talked about like refocusing on yourself. So I'll have that linked down below. If you are new here, hi, my name is Brielle. I make content all around life in my 20s, personal development, productivity. So if any of that interests you, definitely make sure to subscribe. I have an entire playlist filled with personal development videos like this. So if you like this one, there's a playlist for you. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon with another one. I love you. Bye.